And long before this, I was meeting young people, age of you students, some high school students, who seemed to have lost hope. And I began talking to them, and they all said more or less the same thing. We feel like this because we feel that you've compromised our future, and there's nothing we can do about it. You know, almost every day I see a small child and think how we have destroyed this planet since I was that age. And it makes me feel ashamed of our species. It makes me angry. It makes me a bit desperate. But is it too late? Are they right when they say there's nothing we can do? And I know that people say that it's too late, that we're on a trajectory which is leading to absolute ecosystem collapse. But I think we have a window. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I do, and I'll tell you my reasons for hope presently. But these young people, if you all lose hope, then there is no hope. Why? Because if you have no hope, you don't bother to do anything, because why should you? Because it's not worth it. If it's too late, why bother? Just eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. And so it came to a head when 12 high school students, Tanzanians, came to see me in Dar es Salaam. And they were concerned about various things going on around them. They didn't at that time have environmental education in their schools. And I had just been around talking in all the schools, and they suddenly thought, well, the environment's a bit important, we need to learn about it. Some of them were concerned about the street children, or sniffing glue and having nowhere to live. Some of them were concerned about the cruelty to animals in the market and the stray dogs and cats. Some of them were concerned about the fact that some fishermen were dynamiting the coral reefs to make it easy to catch the stunned fish and destroying the breeding grounds of the fish. Some of them were angry that the government wasn't properly prosecuting the poachers who were killing animals in their national parks. And so they came from 9 different high schools, and they went back and found friends who were concerned about the same sort of things, and we had a meeting, and from that meeting this program Roots and Shoots was born. And right from the beginning, the main message was every single one of us makes a difference on this planet every single day. You cannot live through a day and not make some kind of difference, and we have a choice as to what kind of difference we're going to make. And because in every group of young people I've ever found, there are some who care about people, some who care about animals, and some who care about the environment, it was decided that every group would tackle between them 3 different projects to make things better for people, animals, and the environment. And so that's how it began, with 12 high school students. And now we are in 138 countries. We have about 150,000 groups, and a group can be a whole school. And the members are everything from kindergarten through university. You have a student here. I just met her. I think, where are you? Fisher, you said your name was? Where are you? There. Am I right? Did you say Fisher? Yes? Who was in Roots and Shoots for 7 years in Shanghai. We have about 1,000 groups in mainland China. And I can't begin to tell you, because I'm traveling around group after group, how these young people are changing the world. It's not that young people can change the world, they are changing the world. And the projects they tackle, sometimes it's something simple like recycling. Sometimes it's a project that's going to go on for years. Like in Shanghai, they're planting 1 million trees to stop the encroachment of the desert. And when I'm asked about my reasons for hope, well, my main reason for hope is the energy, commitment, sometimes the courage of young people once they know what the problems are and are empowered to take action. When we start listening to their voices, it's their future that we've been trashing. They are moving into the future that we have created and diminished. And it's up to us, oldies, to work with the young people who want to see change and to help them to make that happen. And as I've said, these young people are my main reason for hope. And everywhere I go, I get inspired. Tomorrow, Tara has been working with the EAD, got it right this time, EAD, who brought us here and set up an office. So tomorrow there is a celebration with the 7 local schools here that have been doing Roots and Shoots projects and the 2 universities. And hopefully there'll be a group, and maybe Fisher will lead it, here in this university. Because I would say universities are our strongest Roots and Shoots groups. And by the way, we grow because we partner. We talk to them, they say, well, once you've been in Roots and Shoots, you keep that philosophy, you don't change, you go on thinking like that. So, you know, if we can get a group of young people who realize that we need money to live but shouldn't live for money, and has a culture of respecting other life forms and other people, then we begin to see some hope. You know, so the question is, how is it possible that the most intellectual species ever to live on planet Earth is destroying its only home? The only sort of opportunity that there might have been for another planet to be colonized by us was Mars, because Venus and Mercury are much too hot and Pluto is just so icy. Mars, they think they might have found a bit of life on Mars, but if you look at those pictures, it's not a very encouraging habitat. I don't want to go and live there. So here we are destroying our only home. And what's happened? I think what's happened is this clever brain is sometimes being used, and it's come loose from the human heart. I'm not being scientific. The human heart, love and compassion. And so the old way in which many of the Native Americans and other people too would make a major decision only after thinking, how will this affect our people generations ahead? And now we make major decisions based on how will it help me or my company now? How will it help the next shareholders meeting? How will it help my next political campaign? Those are the criteria. And so somehow the head and the heart, I think when they work in harmony, that's when we shall achieve our true human potential, which is huge. And then we have the resilience of nature. And it's quite amazing how even the most totally destroyed ecosystem, given a chance, given some help, can come back to life, can once again support life. It may not be exactly as it was. And the example I give, because of the talk I'm giving today, is what's happened around Gombe. Those bare hills are not there anymore. You can fly over Gombe and you won't see bare hills. You'll see, but it's happening again. People don't give up. That's the final hope, this indomitable human spirit that, you know, the people who tackle seemingly impossible tasks and won't give in. They just carry on. And these icons are, you know, like Nelson Mandela came out of 17 years of imprisonment, many of them hard physical labor in a lime quarry, and somehow brought his nation out of the evil of apartheid without a bloodbath. There's problems in South Africa, yes, but there was not the bloodbath we all predicted because he had this ability to forgive. But it's not just the Nelson Mandelas. It's people who overcome seemingly impossible problems in their lives, physical disabilities, social problems where an immigrant comes in knowing that none of the language, having no money, and yet somehow struggles through with his family and can still smile at you when you go in to buy something from his little shop. And every single one of us has this indomitable spirit if we will only use it. We all have this power to never give in, to always persist in something that you believe is right. And we also need, and my mother taught me this, to admit that something we've been passionate about, actually we were wrong. We have to be able to admit that we were wrong. And we have to be able to realize that you don't always succeed in a straight line. You may have to deviate and work in a different way. You may have to make compromises. people think a compromise is bad, but if you don't compromise your values, it's often the only way to succeed.